The evening was meant to be a warm, joyful family gathering. My wife had called her parents and siblings to our home for dinner, and I anticipated a pleasant, uneventful night. The table was laden with food, and the room buzzed with laughter, creating a rare moment of ease for me. But unbeknownst to me, she had orchestrated something far different, something designed to wound me deeply. Midway through the meal, she set her fork down with a deliberate clink and cleared her throat, drawing every eye in the room. I expected a cheerful toast or a playful remark, but instead, she launched into a calculated litany of every misstep I'd ever made in our marriage. She recounted forgotten anniversaries, late nights at work, incorrect grocery purchases, and dishes left unwashed in the sink. She framed them as my failures, her voice dripping with a tone that suggested she'd been meticulously gathering these grievances for this very moment. At first, I assumed it was a jest. I let out a nervous chuckle, waiting for her to break into a smile and reveal the punchline. But her words grew colder, her delivery more cutting, and it became clear this was no joke. Her mother fidgeted in her seat, visibly uneasy, while her siblings exchanged wary looks. Yet she pressed on, relishing the attention as if performing for an audience. She was airing our private struggles, as if they were a spectacle for her family's amusement. She labeled me thoughtless, unloving, and declared I wasn't the man she thought she'd married. Each accusation struck like a blow to my pride. My hands tightened into fists beneath the table, my hunger replaced by a sinking dread. Her father, a man of stern but balanced judgment, watched me closely without speaking, as though waiting to see how I'd react. Something within me broke. I rose slowly from my chair, the room falling into a heavy silence. My wife's lips curled into a smug grin, perhaps expecting me to shrink in embarrassment or offer a meek apology. Instead, I locked eyes with her and said, "You've catalogued all my faults tonight, but the truth is, you're the greatest mistake I ever made." The words landed with a force that eclipsed her accusations. The room seemed to freeze in time. Her smirk vanished, replaced by stunned disbelief. Her siblings gasped softly, her mother's hand flew to her mouth, and the air grew thick with unease. For the first time that evening, she was speechless, caught off guard by my response. Then, to everyone's astonishment, her father leaned forward, gave a slow nod and said, "He's got a point." The silence deepened, almost suffocating. My wife's eyes widened in shock, her voice trembling as she stammered, "Dad, how can you say that?" But he remained resolute. With a firm tone, he told her that a wife should never demean her husband in front of others, especially not her own family. He stressed that marriage thrives on mutual respect, and her actions were not only immature but cruel. He acknowledged that no one is without flaws, but publicly dismantling a partner was a shameful act. Tears brimmed in her eyes, but the moment for redemption had passed. Her attempt to humiliate me had backfired, exposing her own resentment instead. Her family sat in awkward stillness, the illusion of her perfect wife persona shattered. I slid my chair back and excused myself from the table. There was no need to linger or argue further. My words, backed by her father's unexpected support, had settled the matter. I stepped out of the house, leaving the meal unfinished and the family in stunned silence. That night, a truth crystallized within me. Love without respect is hollow. She thought she could diminish me in front of others, but instead, she lost the admiration she so desperately sought. My anger faded, replaced by a sense of liberation. From that moment, I no longer saw her as my partner but as a painful lesson. One teaching me that the bravest act a man can undertake is to stand tall, speak his truth, and walk away. In the quiet of that night, I felt unburdened, lighter than I had in years. Our story wasn't finished, but one thing was certain. Nothing would ever be the same again.